he's not here, I better pull up the resolution on my phone. I don't think they're gonna be able to talk.
Hmm?
I don't think they're gonna be able to talk.
Yeah.
No talking. I think that's because they think we can talk. They can't. I mean, even the letter, which should be here, but isn't.
What letter?
The Joel submitted a letter.
Yeah.
They sent it to us.
It's in my email.
I know, but I can't get it on my phone.
Oh.
Print it for me, Jen? I did.
Oh, you printed it?
Yeah, but I wouldn't read that until next week anyway, because that would be part of the public hearing.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, so this is really, I don't need it today.
So
Next week.
what are you doing today? Asking questions?
Mhm.
Okay.
And giving suggestions.
Yeah, okay. We can.
Sure.
Yes, we can.
Opinions count.
We
They
can.
can.
They can.
Okay.
I guess, should I wait for Joe?
I would.
Yeah, we're just gonna wait a few minutes for our attorney to arrive. Sorry.
What's up, John?
He's coming right now.
Super. How are you, Gary?
Good, how
Say
are you?
hello. Mr. Finn, special guest.
Tick tock.
What's that,
Tick
Joe?
tock.
Uh-oh.
Tick tock.
Come on, Kenny Rogers.
I beat you.
You need me?
Because they think it's a
No,
public
no.
hearing.
Because
It's not.
they've been
They
talking about a
advertised on
public
Facebook
hearing.
that It was a public hearing, but it's not.
You might wanna
I will clarify
have a
that.
little bit of an announcement.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't open the meeting yet. I was waiting for you.
Okay. I saw you just made it.
I've been here. I'm drinking coffee.
No, you were not. I just saw you run.
Do you have that mini?
I've been here.
No,
No, I've
Well,
been
not
here.
today.
That wasn't me.
I love it.
Thank you.
Especially swipe speed.
How's that?
But I'll leave it.
Oh, I love it.
Like
Is it
as I'm
five
getting,
star?
It's a
yeah,
five
as
star.
I'm,
Oh, yeah,
as I'm getting older.
Yeah.
I have a big pickup truck, but
Oh.
I want a little toy just to drive around town.
They, I think they're making them hybrid or even electric now.
I
No,
don't
you
want
don't
that.
want
I'm gonna have an engine.
that. Okay.
And but I like the one with the two-tone, like
Yes.
some of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you know David Zagon?
I do know David Zagon.
David had a
Yeah.
car,
Yeah.
white with the
Yes.
red hood.
Yes.
Oh, that was, of course, my son ran over it. My older son,
Really?
he
They
backed
said it was
with my
meant to be
big
right.
pickup truck, backed right on it.
Um,
But they got it
That's
fixed.
the only thing that I would like to see is something more like that, more concrete, definitive. I have something else on this. And I was gonna ask Manny.
Yeah, the old
This
one.
was the old one.
Yeah.
So maybe I got some of the photos, but I didn't get that.
I don't know. I mean, all I'm looking at is this and that. That's all I need to see, really.
Mm.
I didn't get that.
probably has one over there. I would hope.
Do you think they really put those up?
I don't know, I'm gonna ask him. Okay, let's open the meeting. Right?
Yeah, no, that's all okay.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open the meeting. I'd like to call to order the March 28th Planning Board meeting. We're gonna start with the new business of Pedro Huerta, 181 Hudson Street. The applicant is seeking to add 2 gazebos located in front of the restaurant, one for each existing approved patio outdoor space. I'd just like to clarify, because I see a number of the public is here, this is not a public hearing, and there will be no public comment tonight. So you're welcome to listen and stay, but this was, the public hearing will be next month. So, yeah, I'm not sure, if you look at the village website, there was no announcement of public hearing for tonight, it's just a regular meeting. We had a preliminary site plan, a preliminary meeting last month with them, which is part of the formality in our code. This is their actual meeting, and then they will go to a public hearing next month. Tonight, I think we're probably gonna hear much of what we heard last week, but if there's any changes, anything else they wanna present to us, I think that would be up to you, Mr. Huerta.
Everything is the same from what we presented in the last meeting. In the last meeting, we were, they were asked to provide a, I don't know, like a site plan.
Yeah, which we
for
did.
For the pavilions that they want to put at the location. And, but everything is the same. They're still pre-manufactured, built on site. Everything for the establishment of the pavilions is provided by the manufacturing company. Almost like.
Then for these photos that you submitted, did you actually pop them up in front of you? So do you?
No, I put those on Photoshop.
Oh, okay, that's what we were wondering.
Picture from the,
Right.
from the manufacturing website and just made a mock-up of an idea of what it's gonna look like.
Okay,
They also are going to move their sign over to the left, to the left of the entrance. Right now, it's currently in the middle of the building, but it will be blocked with the pavilion. So
What
they're
sign
just
is
gonna
that?
the Las Margaritas sign
Which is already to the left.
in the drawing. So she
it's
photoshopped that
Oh,
in there
oh.
too. So this is a representation of what it will look like.
Mhm.
Do you have this list?
Yes. Yeah, I've seen
I didn't get those either.
So I understand that it is allowable in the code to pop up these, but, I have a few suggestions because we are in the CBS, which is the Central Business, District. We can make some, requests of what you're building, improvements to what it would look like. One of the things personally that I would like to see is for it all to be a similar color rather than the red, white, and green. And then these would be the color that they came fabricated in, I'm assuming.
The pavilions are manufactured in like a chestnut color. It's like a warm wood with a brown roof. I don't know if that reflects in your photo. I don't know. If
No,
it's
that's
colored.
okay. And what is the roof color and material? Is it like a galvanized metal? Is it,
It says here.
does it say what it is?
It says galvanized steel top.
Okay.
It's like a
It says here.
Okay,
vinyl plastic.
yeah, he said it's
It's
galvanized
here.
steel,
Oh,
we
is
got
there?
it, okay.
Thank you.
And it would be like, does it say what color it is? Beige?
Doesn't, colored is not shown.
Do you know what color that roof is?
I can check now.
She said that chestnut.
I think so, right?
all the signs.
You can speak up.
No,
So the roof is like a muted brown, like a taupe brown,
thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
and the wood is like a natural warm.
So,
It's not gonna be painted, right?
so what Chairwoman just said, you know, about the neighborhood, about the business district, even though it's a restaurant, but it's in a residential neighborhood, so it should really blend in to the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't stand out. So whatever color scheme or whatever the end result is gonna be, that should be the intent, to blend it into the scenery, not have it stick out.
Okay,
I mean, most people around there, they'll just live there.
is it for the, I'm sorry, just for my clarification, is it for the, like the little railing
Yes,
around?
that's what I'm talking about. If we could make that blend with the rest of,
Yeah, all of this has been.
yeah, everything that's painted red, white, and green, those spindles that are on the, you know, on the railing, that really sticks out, right? If you drive down in the village, it's, you know, it's just more quaint. Everything's a little more muted. And that's kind of the idea, is that
Okay,
we want it to continue to look that way.
sure, those are there, they're already colored right
Right.
now.
We like
So
to,
when they build it, you want them to match it to the pavilions for a more natural, like,
yes.
seamless.
Yeah, because the building itself is sided in tan siding, this, so it would be all those kind of tones, is that everybody's. in
Yeah,
agreement with
just
that.
more coherence.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Absolutely. Or we can paint the pavilion green and white.
No, we'd rather go
No,
the other
we-
way. Yeah. Anybody else? Go ahead, yeah, ask.
So I'm assuming you're translating?
Yes,
So please explain to them that my question, I like the restaurant. My questions are going to come across maybe negative, but they're not. I like the restaurant, I want it to survive, and I want to be able, you know, go there when I feel like it.
absolutely.
Okay, so, the owner is Leslie someone, right?
Yes.
So do you have Leslie's permission to do this?
Yes, it's in,
Yes, it's
this
in the
permission's
site
in the
plan.
application.
permission?
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
it's in there.
Okay.
Signed off on.
My next question is about safety. What kind of winds can these things stand, Manny? Because what I don't wanna happen, I don't want 50 miles an hour wind come along, which happens a couple of times a year. This thing takes off and kills somebody. I don't want them suing the village.
No, that should not happen. This is gonna be designed for 150-mile upward wind. That's the requirement of the code, and it has to be certified to that extent. So the connector that's gonna be to the ground, the connector that's gonna be on the girder to the roof, all of that comes together as one assembly to withstand 150 miles an hour.
So how do we know that? The
The
building,
contractor and their engineer got it certified out to me, and I got it inspected to make sure that.
is
it's
there a
according-
certified contractor doing this job, or is it a home job?
Even if, you know, a home job could be done or a contractor could do it, but it still has to be certified that it's built to withstand 150 miles an hour.
Okay.
Okay.
What kind of snow load can this thing handle?
30 pounds per square inch.
So what happens when the snow, so it's not gonna collapse in a 10-inch snowstorm, or,
You gotta withstand 10 pounds, 30 pounds per square inch. That's also minimum required.
and what happens when the snow melts and it's bordering the sidewalk? That snow is gonna melt right onto the sidewalk. And what happens to that sheet of ice?
And like everything else, the owner gonna be responsible to keep the sidewalk clean at all times. I mean, they're gonna have to be out there shoveling, salting, that's gonna be their responsibility. And mine to make sure that it gets done, otherwise I gotta write a violation.
I'm sorry?
And mine to make sure that it gets done, otherwise I gotta write a violation.
Okay. So. All right, my questions are done, but I have suggestions when you're ready.
Sure, absolutely.
In my view, I think these things look ugly. I would, if I was you, if I was running the restaurant, I would pressure wash the front of the building. I'll paint that awning, which looks terrible right now, because there's no plan for awning to come down, and you're gonna put these things right in front of the awning. I would paint that awning nice color, blending into the neighborhood, and then instead of spending money on these sheds, or whatever you wanna call them, I would put nice tables, which they're already there, I think, and this nice green umbrellas, which are portable, removable in bad weather, and it's a lot cheaper.
They currently do have, umbrellas that they put out, when it's outdoor seating time. And they, keep them in, but it has happened on occasions, they explained to me that there are people in the outdoor seating area and unexpected rain comes and everyone has to like scurry into the restaurant because although the umbrellas, are mostly for shade, they won't protect against rain. Whereas these all-season pavilions would just make it a little bit more comfortable for, the customers to just sit there and, finish their food in peace.
The blowing
Despite the-
rain is not gonna, this thing is not gonna stop the blowing rain unless you start putting then the side curtains.
So, I mean, yes,
That's what I
that
think.
is true. There,
You know,
there are high winds during the rain.
Yeah,
But in terms of just, providing overall, it's more in the benefit of the customer that they want to put these up.
yeah, but personally, I would just make the building look nice, move the signs around. Not have the signs on the railing, just be part of the neighborhood, I think. That's all.
I mean, I would agree with that, I mean, but, it does meet the code, so, I mean, I can't tell you can't do it, but I don't know whether it's worth the investment either, but that's, you're the business owner, that's up for you to decide. But, yeah, I would agree that I would prefer to see the building spruced up, same thing, cleaned up, awning cleaned up, it definitely could use some plantings or something around it. And umbrellas would make more sense for year-round, because you're gonna have those up, 365 days a year, and people are only gonna sit out there from May to August, but it's not my money, so.
Mine either.
So, also, what happens to these buildings when the tenant moves on?
So these can be, I guess, taken away, cause they're built on site. They come pre-manufactured, just put all the pieces together. The manufacturing company brings the, the materials to, stabilize it. And then, I guess that's up to the owner of the facility and the tenants, which are the restaurant owners, to decide whether, it's gonna be their trade fixture, or they're just going to take it off when they move out, which they don't have any plans of doing so anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be best to have that somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Let's just say 5, 10 years from now that, the restaurant is no longer there, then we're not sitting there figuring out who's gonna take this, like.
Just be mindful, this stays with the property. Any approval you give doesn't stay with the tenant, stays with the property. Not even the property owner, it goes with the property. So whoever owns the property, whoever rents the property doesn't want to have it, then if they choose to, they can remove it, but it becomes part of the property.
Unless it were otherwise
Unless
stated.
you approve it for a temporary period, let's say, look, we're gonna approve it for 2
Right.
years, after 2 years you have to remove it.
Okay.
That will be up to you, but whatever approval is with the property.
Right, it's site plan approval, so it runs with the land. They can choose to remove it in the future, but they have the right to have it there forever.
I mean, this.
So if it doesn't last,
Or we will.
If we approve
The owner, it runs with the land, stays with the ownership.
One thing I didn't understand, there was something said about, there's a pre-existing from 2006. I didn't get the,
That's for that.
probably
That was for
outside
the
seating?
outside seating,
Yeah.
so I see they did correct that too, it is only supposed to be, I think, 6 tables, and on this new drawing that they submitted, it went down to 6 tables.
okay.
So, yeah, that's what was approved back then, it was just, the outside seating was approved, we had that, it was in the minutes last month, they shared
I
those.
was reading it.
Right, so that's all that was approved on that other,
I'm sorry, they just want me to also communicate that, they have had on occasions the umbrellas fly out of the tables.
Mhm.
And they have to go chase them down the street, high winds, you know, it's really.
That happened to me when I was there one time.
Oh,
So,
did
yep.
it? Yeah, so, I mean, in this case, the pavilion will
Yeah.
fly.
I mean, I would like to, I mean, if this is what we're set on doing here, I would definitely like to see the spindles painted, like a similar color, and we would prefer in the village not to have the big beer signs hanging from the banisters also. I mean, I know that there are, I mean, again, I'm not running the business, but I don't think in the village, that's what's gonna draw, you know, like, people aren't gonna be like, oh, great, it's cheap Corona, I'm going there. They're going there because they wanna go have a nice meal and, you know, they're gonna get a drink or whatever, but I don't think in the village, that's the kind of signage we want hanging either. And, you know, that would help with the blending into the neighborhood, yes.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I'm sure you've gone past Two Alice's and sometimes they put out an easel sign, you know, with something on there. And like, you know, if you have a special or something, you wanna put an easel sign out on the sidewalk, like, I don't think anybody's opposed to that. Just something more in the character of what's going on in the village.
Did we hear a statement that these are going to be attached to the ground?
They are, yes.
They are.
They have to be.
So they're not temporary.
No, that's why
Yes.
they had to come here. So if
Yeah.
they were just temporary pop-up tents, like remember like what painters did during COVID? That doesn't require a site plan. They'll
Right.
have These because they'd be fixed to the ground.
Are they gonna have footings? No footings, right? Does it have to go?
No footing required for it, it's not enough weight.
Got it.
So there is enough concrete there
Well,
for the
I
concrete
would-
anchor bolts to go in?
I wanna extend that, that's something that has to be explored by the contractor, if the concrete that is there can hold that 150-mile wind that we spoke about. Yes, if not, then we'll have to do additional footings.
You know, that concrete is 50 years, some years old. Can it hold an anchor bolt? Because the stud has to stick up.
That is correct, I mean, that's gonna be that's gonna be part of the building permit review.
Yeah.
They have to submit that this structure will sit here in place according to code. Whatever needs to be done, if it's footing, they gotta put in footings, if it's no footing required, they gotta show why footings are not required, and it's, you know, it's acceptable to code. But the footing will be exactly where they are proposing the structure to be, they can't make it bigger.
I think they need to do some testing to see whether the studs can be put into that concrete,
If
or
they-
the concrete has to be redone.
If they do footings, then there's no testing.
No. They're not going, footings are expensive, so they're not going to do footings, right? They're gonna start out trying to put the studs in,
They could start out, if they can prove to the building department that, you know, this will hold, the snow load, the wind load, then it's fine, somebody will certify, look, we're gonna install it here, we did all the required inspections, and here's the proof that it meets the code. If that's the case, then I have to accept it, because it will be done by a professional. Otherwise, then they gotta do the required footings for that structure.
So you're gonna require that an engineer or someone
It is
submit to you.
that it will hold the snow
Yes.
load and the wind load that we spoke about.
Okay. Okay.
But all of that, it's, you know, they have to fulfill the code requirements when they do the building permit for the installation of what you are approving.
Does anybody, do you have any comments, questions?
No,
Just tonight?
I agree.
I'd like to save my comments
Go
for
ahead.
the public meeting.
Okay. Well, then I guess, did you have anything else you wanted to add, Mr. Huerta? Then I can go on to the roof.
I
Oh, go
have,
ahead.
before I need to show you something. It's not related to this thing, but this is what the building looks like at night.
Oh, the lights.
And
Hmm,
I don't know if we can talk about it here or not.
Oh, we can.
sure.
Sure, let me see.
Well, we did get a letter.
Right, but
Yeah.
that letter,
Yeah.
I mean, I
They'll-
leave that
they'll-
for the public hearing.
Well, correct. I'm just saying if you're gonna
Hmm.
raise it, it's certainly something
That's
to,
not the letter.
Yeah, this is,
It's the lighting though, right?
This is the
Yeah,
lighting.
and so all I'm saying is, it's certainly something that'll be discussed at the public hearing.
mhm.
If you want to have a general discussion about it, so they're aware of it,
Okay.
it might
So
be helpful.
Save it till then.
No, you can go ahead and bring it
You
up.
can bring it up.
Ma'am, I just wanted to, you wanna see this picture?
You might, Mr. Huerta, you should.
Mr. Huerta.
So the lighting at night, the neighbors have, that's not, I don't wanna say complain, but it's bothering them. So we have a lighting law in the village. So they need to do something, either put a shade so it's pointing down, so these lights are shining in neighbors' windows.
right, okay,
You know, it's,
absolutely.
so they could do something about that.
Manny, isn't that something that you would just follow up,
Yeah,
that
we
it
see
meets
that,
the
sir.
lighting code?
Mhm.
I mean, that doesn't even need to be part of this
I'll go
meeting,
on-
that
I'll
would
go
be
on- yeah.
something that should,
So just like
I'll
maybe
go there
a
tonight,
shade on the
and I'll
light, I
measure.
don't know how
I got
to,
the light meter.
that would be good.
how
I'll do
would
that
I,
tonight.
how
'Cause-
would I don't have a rectification or a remedy for it.
Well, I think the
But-
first thing is Manny needs to find out whether it's within the code, the amount of light that's being emitted.
Yeah,
And if it's beyond that, then we need to come up with a plan, right? Then we need to come up with some sort of shading, a different way to direct the light. So Manny, if you could take a look at that
I'll
and
do that
get
tonight.
back, then we'll know that before next
Yeah,
meeting.
Make sure the lights are on tonight.
Oh, well, maybe,
Tuesday
I call
night.
that Taco Tuesdays.
All right, okay.
yeah, that's,
Right? How includes of Taco Tuesday?
Yeah, and then I'll do it Thursday.
okay, and if you could just get,
All right, I'll-
let us know.
I'll let you know.
And also let them know, because then
Yeah.
they can come up with their proposed solution for it.
I don't, I mean, just let them know to fix it according to the,
Yeah.
whatever.
Right,
the
It's a
because
lighting
violation
law.
for sure, they gotta fix it.
Don't write them a violation, just.
We don't want you to get a fine, we just want it to be not bright and shiny.
Okay.
Just wanted to comply.
Yeah,
But just so I've made the point, since it is a site plan approval, you do have some authority.
Right.
I know that's not the specific subject of what we're looking at, but if you wanted to suggest, I mean, even if it was technically within the code, but if it's bothering the neighbors, you could suggest some kind of shielded lighting or maybe
I'd
mat.
like to first know
Yeah,
whether it's
understood,
within the code.
understood.
And then I'd like to work from there. 'Cause
Understood.
At next meeting, we will get comment from the neighbors. We do have a letter already, I know, from one of the neighbors. So, I mean, I do want to consider that. I just want to know where I'm starting from. Like, are we meeting the code now? But it's still irritating, you know? Like, so, so then at this point, I guess I can go ahead and read my resolution, or do I need to say a bunch of things?
Well, if the board, maybe just poll the board.
think
Is
we're good.
anybody have any
Yes.
questions, or you're comfortable?
Yeah.
If the board's comfortable that the applicant,
Good?
We'll wait for the public hearing,
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, so if you're comfortable that the application is complete,
I think we are, at this point, with everything.
and
we
then
know.
you can schedule a public hearing and ask that the applicant come back with a public hearing to address at least the things that we've discussed informally tonight, because they certainly will come up at the public hearing.
And then I read your fancy writing.
Or you can read the first paragraph and skip to the end if you want to do
I
that.
like to do that, because you can just put the copy in. Okay, so I think that we're all okay with everything that we've seen tonight. Thank you to all the public for coming tonight. Come back next month. We're gonna go ahead
you
and
wanna
move to
speak.
schedule a public hearing. It will be the third Tuesday of next month. This month, we had the meeting the fourth Tuesday because the election was last week. So we're normally on the third Tuesday of the month. So Joe has nicely prepared a resolution for us to schedule the public hearing, so I'm gonna go ahead and read part of that. This is a resolution of the Planning Board of the Village of Cornwall and Hudson, setting a public hearing on an application submitted by Cornwall and Hudson Properties, Inc. for amended site plan approval in the SR and CBS zoning districts. I'm just gonna read the first part, Robin. Whereas the Planning Board in the Village of Cornwall and Hudson has received an application from Cornwall and Hudson Properties, Inc. to approve an amended site plan that will permit the installation of a hardtop gazebo to accommodate outside dining at Las Margaritas Restaurant at the premises situated at section 107, block 5, lot 4 in the Village of Cornwall and Hudson, said lot also being known as 181 Hudson Street. Here, do you need a copy? I got two.
Do you want-
Oh,
So it is resolved that the point, what?
You can go to the last
Go to
paragraph.
the last paragraph. It is resolved that the planning board schedules a public hearing on the application and to consider any potential adverse environmental impacts of the proposed action and to consider visual site plan approval for April 18th, 2023. If we could vote? Aye? Aye.
Aye.
That's 5 ayes, so, well, that's it. We'll see you all back here next month. Thank you. If we just stick around for a minute, I think there's some minutes for us to approve. I'll print it out, thank you.
Oh,
They should have been, they should have had that here for us, but they should have any letter submitted for us next time.
It came after the police dropped off the packets.
I know, that
Yeah.
was fancy, the police dropped off the packets. So, did anybody get a chance to review both the minutes from December and February? They should have been included in your, Charlie, hang on, we're not done yet.
The meeting is
Oh.
too long.
Yeah.
I was outside.
Oh, you were out, right?
I was out too.
Well, you were here on the December
Oh, yeah.
meeting,
Yeah.
so are we okay with these? I think,
Oh.
this was just when we,
There's one from December, oh, here.
December 20th, there were minutes.
Oh,
Do you wanna look at that?
I've read them, I think they're fine.
Yeah,
very quick.
that one.
February is for, okay.
That's when I shut down Joe's resolution.
Yeah, we just made some changes. The only question, Robin, I have is this here. Attorney McKay asked for dates in the last site plans and the latest landscaping plans, so to X added into the resolution? What is that?
Oh, no, I thought I sent you the updated one. My cat stepped on it. It was to be added into the
Oh, okay,
resolution.
so they just must have printed
And
it.
it got highlighted and turned into an X. I didn't notice.
Okay, so as long as that's a B, I think.
To be,
So
yes.
I would
added.
motion to approve these December minutes.
No, it's
Yep.
Are we okay
Oh,
with
yes,
these?
yes, I read this.
Who wants to second it?
Second.
Okay. Whoever, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. And then I believe I read through these ones also.
The February,
Yes.
yeah, I did. They're fine by me.
You want to motion it?
Yeah, I move that we accept the February meeting minutes.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
And two accused. Okay.
And then I would now make a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight at 7:32 PM. Anyone want to second that? You see something?
Well, we requested that they show, stuff that they can show. I'm just reading this now. Retaining wall,
Jason
maybe,
probably should.
maybe that's it, maybe it's all there.
Oh, what? Did we ask? Well, Manny approved this thing. Shit.
Yeah. It doesn't really show landscaping, screening, buffer areas, lighting facilities.
Manny, we got a question for you. We're having the public hearing because we just called for it, but we may need, and Megan, we asked for them to include a few things, and Kristen actually just called this to my attention. This does not show all of the things that we asked them to show.
According to our minutes, anyway, we did.
I mean, remember, we asked them for, look, like, they showed us parking, but they did not show us all existing or proposed site improvements, including drains, culverts, retaining walls, fences, sidewalks. I mean, we have sidewalks, but I think there's some fences and stuff.
I don't, there's no drainage issue, they're not changing, they're not disturbing any.
No, but
anything.
there's fences and they're not on here.
Fence-
so.
Oh, on the property itself?
Yes,
around the property?
it's supposed to be on
Okay.
this.
All right,
And then
I'll have you show that.
landscaping, screening, there's no landscaping on this either.
You want for the area where they're doing the work for the whole property?
Well, we asked them to include the site plan, so
Yeah, it
include
would be the
that.
whole it's only that, right? I mean, yeah, it's the whole property, I guess.
I
Yeah,
mean, only because it's an amended site plan, it's not a brand new site plan.
I know, but this is what we asked for.
Is this
So you wanna
actually,
If we could just follow up
Okay,
and
no
make sure
problem.
that they add those points to this plan
I will.
and get it to us before the next meeting,
I'll talk to him about it today.
okay?
Is that lady an
Thursday.
architect who's translating?
No, she's
a
just a
friend.
translator friend. They had didn't they have somebody else here last time, I feel like?
It was her.
It was just
Yeah.
her? Okay. So I don't know who drew this, it looks like, one of them.
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe one of them did it himself.
It should, I mean,
I'll be
before
sure
we
to-
approve it,
Because we had it in our
It
minutes
should.
now that are official.
I'll
yeah,
make sure that all that stuff. on
yeah,
there.
yeah. Okay,
This is gonna become part of this property's history going
Right.
forward forever, so it should be.
So it should be on there.
professional.
Yes.
okay. I mean, I'm
The
not
same
saying it.
one, but this was the information on it.
I mean, I guess so, like, you're the building inspector, so if you're telling me this is a suitable drawing for them to submit, I mean, then I guess it is, but it should include those things that we said in the minutes, because that's what we told them.
Okay.
So I wish that we caught this before that,
And,
Sorry.
but no,
and
it's
the
fine,
public,
it's like,
and the
I
public
was
will
running
be
here tonight,
expecting
or I
that.
would've-
It will be on there.
Yeah,
So I'm sorry, so I missed that part 'cause I wasn't there last time. What kind of landscaping are we asking?
we
for
just
them
asked
put
them
some
to show us what's
flowers?
out there,
Okay,
yeah, include what's out there.
okay.
And then, yeah, we can ask them to put some flowers out there next week.
Yeah, I'm just
Sure.
wanted to know, like, 'cause it says landscaping, I'm not sure what,
Well, we can ask them
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Because
did
there's-
ask that, right? 'Cause that's
No,
what's
we
in
asked
the
them to
minute?
show us
Oh, I got you.
what's there
what they-
now.
What they plan.
Got
And
it.
so, but we can make all the suggestions we want and
Okay.
have that added to their approval, correct?
I mean, it should be within reason. I
Right.
know it's a hand-drawn map. It should be a little snapshot of what's existing on the property and including the canopies.
Yeah. So, yeah, if we could just follow up with them on that, I don't. But certainly, like, if we could get an answer on the lighting too, whether that's within code,
Thursday night for sure, I'll be here Thursday night, so I'll go out there and measure it, the light meter.
cause that is like, I don't know what's happening there, that looks like a party.
I mean, I get the point of wanting to attract people.
Right,
You're not on a main drag, you're in a residential
Yeah.
neighborhood, so.
did we close the meeting?
No.
Oh,
No,
so let's
because
close the
I
meeting.
interrupted it.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's fine.
sorry,
So
sorry.
now let's go
Yeah,
ahead and close
okay.
it. Let me motion now at 7:36 to close the meeting. And then,
Did you approve the minutes?
we did.
We did, yeah, I second that.
I had moved to
Yeah, I
Wanna
thought we
vote?
did, too.
adjournment.
Maureen, you
I
wanna
thought so,
vote
too, but she
to
didn't close
adjourn
it.
the meeting? Or we
Yes,
not?
we did.
Okay.
So we're just shut this off too. I thought we had, but she said she hadn't.